You're sitting next to Scottie Pippen. Scottie Pippen is a basketball player, used to play with Michael Jordan, and he's being asked about Satoshi. And Pippen makes claims about the fact that he's known him since the early 90s. And Michael, if there's any facial reactions that should end up being a meme or should be used for other videos, it's yours. Because, folks, I want you to focus on Michael's face. Mike, you don't make a lot of facial reactions. You're typically very stoic. But in this moment, you couldn't control yourself. I want to know why. Go ahead, Rob.
You mentioned you met Satoshi in Seattle in 1993.
Yes.
He also came to you in a dream. You have a nice relationship with Satoshi.
I feel like I do.
Yeah.
I feel like I have a story to tell. Definitely have an opportunity to meet him back in 1993.
You mentioned...
Now, what happened previous to that? What happened after that? Is he saying 1993? Is he confusing Satoshi with Michael Jordan, who in 1993 Seattle? Is he thinking George Carlin as Satoshi, Sean Kemp, 93 during the playoff? Who is he talking about here?
Look, I like Scottie, and he came over to my house, and we had a nice dinner on my yacht, and we talked all about Bitcoin, and it was awesome, and I have the greatest respect for him. I think that the interviewer kind of asked him an unfair question, and I was a little bit uncomfortable because us Bitcoin maximalists, we are very protective of Satoshi, and we don't we don't like we don't talk about Satoshi other than with reverence. So yeah, I don't know. I don't have much more to say on that other than we know Satoshi came onto the world scene Halloween 2008, and we like to have all of our commentary starting Halloween white paper 2008 onward, and otherwise, I think it's constructive that Scottie Pippen, one of the greatest basketball players of all time, has a relationship with Satoshi and talks about Satoshi, and it's endemic of the fact that Satoshi is the bringer of fire, Prometheus. He brought us sound money, and I think that's awesome. But otherwise,
did you guys speak backstage? Were you like, Scottie,
otherwise,
who are you
I'm not talking
about?
to you about my relationship with Satoshi. Satoshi is reverent.
To him, to Scottie is what you're saying. Or you're saying to you is reverent.
I think Satoshi's very special. But
did you guys have a follow-up like you and Scottie?
Oh yeah, he came to my house that evening, and we had a great time, a great discussion.
Did you ask him like, what do you mean you met him? Did he share anything with you or no? Like when he met him?
I have no other insight to offer on this subject.
I got it. Well, listen, the rest of the world was curious when Scottie said that. One, I was concerned about your neck because I thought you cracked your neck when you turned the Rob. I don't know if you saw that or not. It was a very quick movement you made. And then the second part, you play one more time, Rob. Again, just look at the neck reaction, folks. Not anything else, but watch this. Go ahead.
You mentioned you met Satoshi in Seattle in 1993. He also came to you in a dream.
Twice.
You have a nice relationship with Satoshi.
It is not fair that Burchella asked him the question, and I felt a little bit surprised.
Is that inappropriate to ask the question in the world? Why did you get a little bit uncomfortable?
I think it's inappropriate.
Why do you think that?
I think it's inappropriate. It's inappropriate for a big. It's like just inappropriate. Satoshi came onto the scene in 2008 Halloween with the white paper, asking anybody about their relationship with Satoshi before that date is an unfair, inappropriate question.
It's almost as if it's...
It was awkward, but that's all I have to say. I'm a big fan of Scottie. He's greatest ever. I'm a big fan of Satoshi. I would rather not
well, maybe I'll say
be
my
in an
thoughts.
Awkward situation. Otherwise.
I'll say it and you don't have to say anything. I get the feeling like... is there an element of looking at Satoshi as God, as Jesus in that space? Like, do some people look at him that way? Where it's not just this mysterious, anonymous inventor of Bitcoin, or is it like almost like worshipped type of a character?
Satoshi's a spiritual figure in the Bitcoin community. Satoshi is equivalent to Prometheus. Prometheus gave us fire. Satoshi gave us money. Bitcoin is the first perfect money, in the history of the human race. I spend my copious free time reading economic history. And I've read thousands of years of economic history and tens of thousands of pages. And it's one chaotic, disaster train wreck of we used seashells, we used bales of tobacco, we used silver and gold, and we clipped the coins, and we had bimetallism and it crashed, and we had fiat currency, and we had a debt crisis, and no one ever had a money that was not defective. I mean, I can show you examples of monetary crashes every 30 years for the past 3,000 years in every single culture. And Satoshi comes along for the first time and says, oh yeah, here's money, it's not broken. And it's so profound. It's like, you look at this water, you sit down at a table and the poor person thinks, oh, I got to drink water. And the rich person wants to drink $1,000 bottle of champagne or wine or something. But for 100,000 years, humans didn't have clean water. Right? And if you read the history of civilization, people are dying in their 30s and 40s and 20s because the water's dirty, because they're getting infected. If you were Henry VIII, you didn't have clean water. The reason they all had gout is they had to drink wine with alcohol in it, and they ended up with degradation of their limbs because they didn't have clean water. So we only have clean water, clean air, clean food that doesn't kill us. We only have it for the past 100 years. We had dirty money from 3 million BC all the way up to January 3rd, 2009. We have dirty money, and there's one guy that actually finally gives us clean money, non-toxic, it does not kill us. So is it spiritual? Yeah, it's spiritual. It's like, what happens when I inject poison and toxic into the veins of my kids? They're dying. It's like forcible chemotherapy to a 12-year-old athlete, That's the problem. All these companies have a useful life expectancy of 10 to 15 years. You know why? Because the capital is toxic, because the money that they capitalize on is toxic. It's sucking the life out of them. Satoshi comes along and he gives you non-toxic money. And who else did it before him? Nobody. So you got to actually hold with reverence the person that actually gave the human race the first clean, perfected money. And you look after that point, you're like, oh man, we're not dying anymore. Infant mortality rate's 40% before clean water. It's like 4 out of 10 of your kids are going to drop dead, and I give you clean water, and I say, take this, it won't kill them. And you're like, well, what? So the point is, it's a pretty profound paradigm shift, and it's for those of us who are maximalist, that actually believe Bitcoin is an ethical imperative. It's an instrument of economic empowerment. We're just very protective of Satoshi. We don't like what anybody pokes at Satoshi, right?
You have 5 kids?
No, I do not have 5 kids.
Do you have a family?
I don't have any children.
You don't have any children?
No.
Okay, got it. Interesting. Yeah, I wonder like your level of conviction. It was very interesting, your reaction to that clip with Scottie, because it changed in a very interesting way while I'm sitting here talking to you. And I appreciate you sharing that with me, because I didn't know you viewed it that way. Is that pretty common in this space? Is that pretty common in folks in Bitcoin who are influencers like yourself, that they have a similar feeling?
The maximalists, yeah.
The maximalists.
Yeah, like I said, it's like 10 hours and you're a trader, 100 hours you're an investor, 1,000 hours you're a maximalist. You think it's an instrument of economic empowerment. It's an ethical imperative for 8 billion people. So, like, for example, you think the world's better with electricity?
Sure.
What if I took your family, I took away electricity, clean water, clean air, clean food, and metal? Do you feel like you've been ripped back to the Stone Age? Like maybe Stone Age? Yeah. Would you be angry about it? So what if I turn around? Now, what if I said the opposite, which is, I don't think you should have those things? What if I said, I don't think you should have clean air, clean food, or steel, or glass? What if or internal combustion engine? I'm going to take away your car. Would you not be a little bit angry at me? A little bit irritated? A little bit irked? I'm going to pass a law taking away your rights to electricity and glass and airplanes, right, from your family and all your friends, and you're like, what the heck are you talking about? Okay, that's how we feel about Bitcoin. When that's how we feel about money, or in this case, about digital money, perfected digital money. We're like, you're going to take that away from people? Or if you said to me, if I said, I got this idea for your kids. We're going to give them clean food and clean water in their first 5 years. And then another friend of mine says, it's not really important. You don't need that. It's like, we're just going to give you half swamp water, and we're going to have them eat mud. And that's okay too. We're going to diversify, and I'm like, don't feed your kids mud, and don't give them swamp water. And by the way, they're going to, and here's antibiotics. You don't need antibiotics. They're going to die without the antibiotics. Like, it's not a big deal. The point is, we get worked up about it because we see it's like critical technology, and you're not going to move the human race forward in the next millennium without electricity, without digital energy, right? Bitcoin is digital energy, just like you had electrical energy, just like you had, it's just like, if we took away crude oil right now, 95% of the people on Earth would starve to death or freeze to death. The world comes to a grinding halt. So when people actually attack oil, or they attack nuclear power, or they attack electricity, you think like, you just must hate humanity. And when you attack Bitcoin, you're attacking digital energy, right? And you must just hate humanity.
I don't know if you see it or not, but a lot of big moves are being made in business right now, specifically since Trump won the election. Musk's net worth just crossed $300 billion. MicroStrategy CEO Michael Saylor, who just pulled up right now to the building, I'm about to do a podcast with him, just announced today, you ready? He bought $4.6 billion of Bitcoin today. You think he's making a statement? Everything right now, behind closed doors, people know the next 4 years is going to go quickly. You either capitalize or you're going to be left behind your next 5, 10, 15 moves. In 2020, when Biden became a president, everybody was panicking. We had a major meeting, identified our next 15 moves. We knew what we wanted to do the next 4 years between 2020 and 2024. We capitalized off of it. Tomorrow night, Tuesday night at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I'm hosting a free webinar to share with you what we did and what we're doing now between 2024 and 2028. If you want to join us, go to vtwebinar.com. VT, like Valuetainment, vtwebinar.com. Register. I'll see you there. It's limited to only 5,000, so get registered. If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.